As I've already been introduced, Eric Turgle, and we'll be looking at policy change along fatal traffic accidents. I guess start out with, we should look at our lit reports last year. There were 33,000 traffic fatalities and over 2 million people injured. I think understanding the factors at work here that actually contribute to traffic fatalities is a big step forward to reducing these losses and reducing the costs that it puts on society, such as healthcare costs, social security costs, benefits not being contributed anymore, and I think most importantly our productivity losses. One person has a lot to give to society when they pass away, whether it be early or in their working prime. You lose a lot from it. Furthermore, our young drivers of today, I can't talk too much. I drive pretty recklessly sometimes. But you need to educate the young because a lot of they also contribute to our fatalities and injuries. Literature's actually going on this the young driver thing. Gonzalez in 2005 actually had a study where younger drivers drove recklessly. I'm pretty sure that's no surprise to everyone. You have Grunwald and Nicky, I believe, in 1995. They had done a study about finding a relation between alcohol sales and fatal crashes. And they actually found that the availability of alcohol did not have any measurable relation into fatal crashes. And then we have Gardner at the bottom here, or Gardner, I'm sorry, in 2006, would actually argue that two-lane roads were more dangerous in Maine anyway, and this actually checks out a lot of other places too if you look into it. Unsafe speed was a factor of 32% of crashes, and alcohol and drugs was in 1 in 12. Data sources, you'll see in my variables later, but alcohol tax revenue, taxpolicy.org, a lot of stuff from census.gov, and the IIHS.org, cars.com, and cubiclinic.com for miles. These are my variables that I used. We have PPE, which is our police protection expenditure, basically what each state spent on police enforcement. We have the 4-lane roads, and that is in miles. CPO use percentage, which is what exactly it sounds like. Driver license age limit. This is actually the limit, or the age, sorry, that they no longer have restrictions on their license. So you can drive past midnight. You can drive with people in the car. It varies between each state, usually from 16 to 18. You have insurance, which is the total liability, essentially. So you have, if you've ever looked at it, it's usually divided into 3 categories. You'll have each person has 20,000 limit. You have your property damage. That's why I've added all those together to make one number. We have the crashes by population down at the bottom. That is actually our dependent variable. Basically, you took crashes and divided by the population. And then median income, sounds what it is. And then you have the percentage of male. That's actually young male, so age 16 to 25. This kind of goes along with the whole young drivers drive recklessly. So more males, young males, just say, if they influence the crashes. And then at the bottom here we have alcohol tax revenue, which is per capita. So how much each person, how much the state actually collected from each person from buying alcohol. Methods I used. First we have the ordinary least squares method using PROC-REG, basically the linear regression. You're using the heteroscedasticity for correcting the standard errors. I'll actually show you later. You can see how I had that issue. And then we pulled our years 2011 and 2012, put them together, and then created a dummy variable for 2012 to account for any kind of major changes that would have happened that we couldn't measure. All right. So at the bottom there, you can see the heteroscedasticity, which is essentially, it just means it kind of cones out, because your states are varying in sizes. You're not going to have the same kind of data for California, which has millions of people, and I don't know, for like Maine, you might only have a couple, less people. So you need to account for that in your data, which is what I did. You see that here. Kept them consistent with our standard errors, bringing down some of our significant values too. And so, essentially, main points: police protection. Spend more police. Guess what? You have less traffic violations, less traffic accidents. That makes sense. This coincides with our seatbelt use because they can enforce it. And speeding, they'll keep speeding down. If you have a cop on the side of the road, you slow down. Everyone does. Rarely speed up unless you're in trouble. You have the 2012 variable that I was talking about. Essentially just a dummy variable, 0, 1. Like I said, just to help us make sure nothing crazy was happening. 2011, 2012. And 4-lane miles, interestingly enough, more 4-lane miles in my study actually increased traffic accidents or fatal crashes. I was thinking about it, and I'm assuming there's a lot more traffic on these 4-lane roads, so that actually might have something to do with it. If there's more red lights, also it could also affect it because access has red lights, people run them. And those were actually both significant. And we have the alcohol tax revenue per capita, which actually ended up being insignificant for me, which was kind of surprising. I figured, if you're having to drive to get somewhere to buy alcohol, you might actually drive back drunk, and you can drive back drunk, which you shouldn't, but sometimes you do. And then that's bad. But that actually wasn't significant, as you can see right there. And that's cool. But yeah, my insurance required. Higher insurance means, I'm assuming, not assuming, but I come to the conclusion that maybe if you have higher insurance costs, you wouldn't want them to go up higher. So, you won't drive it recklessly, you won't put yourself out there, which makes sense in my mind. Another interesting thing was the median income. Higher income actually leads to, less crashes. So, in my mind, I guess people with higher income could maybe buy newer cars, their safety standards might improve every year. So, that's what I'm improving with that. I think also buy their kids nicer cars, You get into a crash into my vehicle, 1990 Miata, which is a little two-seater convertible, you probably won't survive a crash with a truck, but if you're in the truck, you're good. Just more of my results here, basically what I just said. And then conclusions here. We have reasonable actions, improve for 4-lane roads, maybe increase or maybe decrease stop signs. Maybe I know a lot of people, not stop signs, but red lights. A lot of people make them maybe more aware. You go around some corners and the red lights just kind of pop up on you. Spend more on law enforcement to enforce the seatbelt and prevent more incidents there. And then raise minimum insurance requirements, which I'm sure not a lot of people would like, but it means saving lives, and we might. And raise the age for our no restrictions license limits. Obviously that's not going to work in some places. I know rural areas they'll need you need to drive, to get around. So maybe incorporate some kind of more of a driver's class requirement. And then lastly, just give everyone more money so we can all buy nicer cars. That's not going to work, so that's why it's unreasonable. All right, and thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it.